Hi guys, my name is Richard and welcome to the RQ Studio. In this video, I'm going to show you how to create this dashboard whilst learning how to web scrape, merge tables, and add columns from example in Power BI. Alright, so let's dive right in. So we are going to start by creating a new blank report. We are going to go to Get Data and import our data from the web, and then it's going to ask us to input a URL to the site where we want to generate our data from. So let's go to Google and type in the site. So this dashboard is a Steph Curry statistics dashboard, so I'm going to look for that in Google, Steph Curry stats. And we are going to make use of the ESPN website for Steph Curry career statistics. Now on this site, we have Steph Curry's regular season averages showing the years he's played in a season from 2009 all the way to 2024-2025, including games played, minutes, points, 3-point percentage, free throw percentages, and points. We also have the regular season totals here, and this is the information that we need. And so we are going to take this URL, copy that in from the address bar, and we're going to paste it in a Power BI web URL space. Right. So I'm just going to click OK. Whilst we're waiting, I'll just say that so Power BI works by scraping up data from websites that has data in the form of tables. If the data is not in the form of tables, it's going to be difficult for Power BI to get it in the right format. However, for the website we have chosen, the data is in a tabular format, so that should be better. Right, so we realized that a number of tables appear in our preview pane. I'm just going to select table 1. So I realized that in table 1 it shows just 2 columns, which is season and team. Table 2 also shows a series of columns from game played, GP, all the way to points. Right. So I'm just going to compare the column for table 2. For games played, we have 80 games as the first point and 986 as the second, as the last point for that column. So I'm just going to cross-check the website and realize that for the regular season averages, it was 80 games and the career was 986 games played in total. So what we realize is table 1 shows us the first part of the table, which is regular, the season and the team, and the table 2 shows us games played all the way to points. Going back to Power BI, realize that table 3 shows us again there's 2 columns, and then table 4 shows us from field goal all the way to points. And at points we can see 139 points for the first row and 24,345 for the last row in that column. So cross-checking, I realized that for the regular season totals, that is the table that has been selected. You can see the number of points at the top as 139 and 24,345 at the bottom. So suppose that Power BI has scraped these tables and broken them down into these separate divisions. So I only need table 1. I actually just need, what we want to visualize is regular season totals. But then for demonstration purposes, we are going to start with the merge table function, and then we are going to merge regular season averages, and then we will merge regular season totals in Power BI. So I'm going to import table 1, table 2, table 3, and table 4. I'm going to click on transform data, and then we'll dive right into Power Query Editor. The Power Query Editor is where we will merge our tables. And the merge table function is a capability of the Power Query editor. Now we know that in order to merge two tables together, there must be a column that they have in common. If there's no column that they have in common, it's going to be difficult for the program to understand what basis the merge is going to be. It's going to be a messed up merge. And so in order to merge table 1 and table 2, we are going to create a unique column, or call an index column, and merge based on that unique index that we will create. So I'm going to click on table 1, and first I'm going to promote my first row as headers because we want season and team to be the headers for this table. So I'll click in the far left hand corner and select use first row as headers. Great. Then I'm going to cross check table 2 to see if the headers have been promoted. Okay, it has. That's great. So I'll go back to table 1, and under the home tab, when you look to the far right hand corner, you're going to see a section that has combined, and in that section we are going to make use of merge queries. Now you can merge queries or merge queries as new. What merge queries does is it will merge the two tables into one, whereas merge queries as new is going to merge the two tables into one as a completely different table, so that you would still have the option to make use of table 1 or table 2 if you need it. So we don't need it, but I'm just going to make use of the merge queries as new, as I think it's the best practice, should in case you need to go back. Although the applied steps are shown on the right hand side, and you can just go back on every step you make. So in the merge queries pane, I'm going to select table 1 has already been selected. So in this drop down, I'm going to select table 2. Oh, sorry. So I mentioned that we need to create a unique column for each tables. And seeing as we don't have that unique columns, we have to go back and then create that. So we are going to create that by selecting the add column pane and make use of the index column option and the general. So once we click that, there are options to create an index column starting from 0, starting from 1, or even a custom column where you select the number that you want your index to start from. So maybe you want to start from 5 all the way to 50, and you want it to increase by 2, you can do that. For the purpose of this video, we're just going to start from 1. Great, so an index column has been created, counting from 1 all the way to 17. So there are 17 rows in the table, and we are going to create the same thing for table 2. So I come to table 2, I'll go back to index column and select from 1. And then we realize that it's been created and it also has 17 rows, right? So now we're going to go back to merge these tables. We click the home tab, go to merge queries as new. And then we'll select table 2. And then we are going to select the column that we want to merge on in both tables, and select the kind of merge we want, or the kind of join that we need. So we want everything from table 1 and everything from table 2. The default join shows us a left outer join which says all from first but matching from second. What we do want, we can choose to use that, but then in order to ensure that we are getting everything, I'm just going to select full outer, which has all rows from both tables in the bracket. And we'll click on OK. And a new table has been created. So in order to see, in our preview pane, we see only data from table 1 and a new column added called table 2. So in order to see everything in table 2, we are going to click on this arrow at the top right hand corner, and you realize that all the columns in table 2 show. We are going to click on OK, and what's going to happen is it's going to expand and show us all the columns that exist in that table. Great. Now, one trick I like to teach you guys is how to take out the column to update the column name for all table when they have a consistent name. So in this instance, table 2 is consistent for all columns in table 2, and I don't want to see table 2. I want to take that out of the column name. So we're going to do that by clicking on the bolt and the applied steps for the expanded table, and realize that the columns show, and then the name of the table 2 shows here. So I'm just going to clear that and click OK, and realize that it's gone for all tables in table 2. Right, so that's just a neat trick to help ensure that the columns are cleaned up. So my next step is I'm going to name this table according to the name in our website. So this is regular season averages. So go back. We'll name this merge 1 regular season averages. So we're going to do that for table 3 and table 4, as that's the table we're actually interested in. So and we're going to name this table regular season totals. Okay, great. So because we don't necessarily need the first table that we created, table 1 and table 2, and the regular seasons average that we've created, I'm just going to delete those tables. Now we are going to load what we have into Power BI and then get to work creating our graphs and charts. So now all tables have been loaded into Power BI, but then I don't want to see table 3 and table 4 because I only need the merge table. So I'm just going to hide those tables by right clicking and selecting hide. So our main focus is on the regular season totals for Steph Curry. Now I chose Steph Curry because he's a favorite, he's my favorite basketball player. And so let's move on to visualizing his statistics. So let's start by creating cards to visualize his career high or total number of points, assists and steals so far, and rebounds. So I'll click on the cards visual. I'm going to select the points column. I want to see the entire value, so I'm just going to switch that in the callout value from auto display to none. And I also want a comma in between to show if it's 1,000 or not. So I'm just going to click on comma. So we have 48,000. In the filters pane, I'm going to add the season column because even though it has the total number of seasons, it also has his total career column, total career row. And what we need is actually the total career row. So I'm just going to select that. So in reality, he's made over 24,000 points throughout his entire career. So I'm just going to change the name, the label from sum of points to points. Now that we have these KPIs, the next visual I want us to create is the top 5 seasons by points, making use of the clustered bar chart. In order to achieve or visualize just the top 5, we are going to add another season filter to the filter on this visual in the filters pane. And in the filter type, we are going to select top n. So the top n allows you to select a specific number you want to see and then add the value or column that you want to filter by. So in this instance, we want it to be filtered by points. So I'm going to drag and drop the point column into the by value field here and select apply. So you realize that the visual is filtered to show just the first 5 seasons or the top 5 seasons according to points. And we can see that 2015 was the season where 2015-2016 was where he had the most number of points, whereas 2014-2015, the season prior to that, is when he had the least number of points. So that's what the top 5 season does. Let me just name the label to top 5 seasons. So let me just add a line chart. And that's going to be seasons by points. I'm going to add a pie chart that's going to visualize his percentages, his field goal percentage, his 3-point percentage, and his free throw percentages as well. So there are better ways to visualize this, but then I want to just make use of a card visual. So I'm just going to select those columns. Put it here. But then when I expanded that column, we realized that the percentages are not accurate in terms of this free throw percentage. It says 50%. 3-point percentage is 23 and 26, and I know that these numbers are not accurate. If we look at the free throw, from the site, we realize that they are supposed to be 91, 47, and 42.5. So from the website, this free throw percentage is supposed to be 91, 47, and 42.5%. So that's what we are expecting to see here. And so we are now going to make use of the add column from example to correct that. So let's dive right in. I'm going to select the first column, which is field goal percentage. I'm going to select add column from the top and click on add column from example. Now from the drop down, there are 2 options: from all columns or from selection. So you can create a column based off of all the columns in the data set or from a specific selection. In this instance, I want to create a column based on my selection, which is the field goal percentage. So I'll click on from selection. And really, I actually want to create the exact same column, but just add a percentage sign to it. But it can't have the same name, so I'm just going to add a full stop or dot at the end. And what the add column from example does is you type anything in it and it looks for a pattern in your data set to give you the results. So in this instance, I just want to see this field goal percentage with a percentage sign. So that's what I've typed in. I'm just going to click on OK. And you notice that it's grayed out, but then it's actually trying to apply percentage to all the numbers in that column, which is exactly what I want. So I'm going to click on OK. And that new column has been created. Now we realize that the column is in text format. Like you can see ABC there. And so we are going to change that to a percentage format so that Power BI can properly visualize it in the visualization pane. So we are going to go to transform, and here we can either change the data type from text to percentage, or we can just click on detect data type and it will automatically detect the data type of the currently selected column. So let's click on that. And Power BI has detected that that column is a percentage column, right? So it transforms everything into the exact format that we need. So we are going to do the same for 3-point percentage and free throw percentage as well. Great, so now that we have the 3 columns that we need, we are going to go back to home, close and apply. We are going to replace that in the card visual. Also, we need a career highs for each of these ones. We need a career, so I'm going to filter this visual by season. So I'm going to add season to the filters on this visual and select career. Right, so it gives us the values that we need, which is 42.5, 47.20 and 91 as was on the website. So now that we have the right numbers, we can take out our old chart. So as far as the information is concerned, our dashboard is complete. But now we're going to move on to the next step of customizing it, adding a picture and adding Steph Curry's personal information to the dashboard. So we are going to move to PowerPoint where we'll put that together and come back. So we have a background ready. So I'm just going to save this specific slide as a picture just by clicking on save as to a specific location on your PC. In this instance, I'm just going to select downloads and change the save as format to PNG. Change the name. So you can either save all slides as pictures or just this one. So after that's done, we're going to go back to Power BI, click on the canvas and go to canvas settings, where we will now import the picture into Power BI. Sorry, click on canvas background, click on image, click on browse and select the image from your downloads folder. And even though I've selected, it doesn't show because the transparency is at 100%. So we are going to take that to 0. And then we have our image. Great. So now that we have our image, we are going to filter our graphs and charts a little bit to make it look cooler. So I'll start with the KPIs by taking out the background and changing the text formatting as well. With the line graph, I think that an area chart would look cooler, so I'm going to select that. And from the graph, you can see that it's showing the season that he had the highest number of points as against the season where he had the lowest number of points, right? but then you can change that to ascending order or descending order. Let's say I change it to season in ascending order, and you realize that it shows us from 2009 all the way to 2024, 2025, and how he's had his high moments and low moments in terms of scoring in the league. Bear in mind, this is the best scorer in the league, in my opinion. But not every year was a good year for him. In 2019, 2020, I think he was injured. He had a wrist injury, and also there was COVID. But then when he came back, he had one of the best seasons in his career, and then he's picked up from there. But then I want the graph to be filtered according to points in descending order. So I'm just going to refilter that. Right. Finally, I want to filter, not finally, but I want to filter the pie chart. So I just want to make this look a little bit cooler, so I'm going to add a gold rose, which I took from the internet and took out the background. So I'm just going to insert that. So I'm going to click on insert, go to images, and insert that picture in the middle. Just to make it match or represent the rose on his jersey. At least that was the idea. And I'm going to add a shape visual behind these KPIs at the top of the screen. And finally, I'm going to add personal information on Steph Curry in a text box. So I have it written down on my notepad. I'm just going to copy that. And our dashboard is complete. Right. I hope you enjoyed creating this dashboard with me. I hope you learned something new. Thanks guys. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and look forward to my next video.